Beijing on Wednesday bashed President Biden's description of China's President Xi Jinping as a dictator during remarks to donors as extremely absurd and irresponsible. At a fundraising event Tuesday in California, Biden discussed the incident earlier this year when the U.S. shot down a Chinese surveillance balloon that floated over the country, which heightened tensions between Washington and Beijing. The reason why Xi Jinping got very upset in terms of when I shot that balloon down with two boxcars full of spy equipment is he didn't know it was there. No, I'm serious. That was the great embarrassment for dictators when they don't know what happened, Biden said in California. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning later said Biden's comments go totally against facts and seriously violate diplomatic protocol and severely infringe on China's political dignity. It is a blatant political provocation. China expresses strong dissatisfaction and opposition. The U.S. remarks are extremely absurd and irresponsible, Mao added. The comments from Biden and Mao come in the wake of Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to Beijing earlier this week. Beijing planned an initial visit for February, but it was postponed amid the surveillance balloon incident. Blinken met with Xi and other officials, including Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang, in a high-stakes trip amid stabilizing the tense relationship between the world powers. Biden told donors in California his Secretary of State did a good job during the trip, adding it's going to take time to improve relations. On Saturday, Biden, everybody's name starts with a B, Biden, Beijing, and Blinken. Okay, Biden said the Chinese spy balloon situation was more embarrassing than it was intentional for Beijing, and then it notes that the Associated Press contributed. So China is, I'm not even going to say China, but Xi Jinping is a guy who is not decent in most ways. He's someone who has really gone after free speech. I know at one point he decided that banning Wikipedia was a good idea. They've been banned for about 4 years now, since 2019. So I'm not in the business of saying that he doesn't engage in things that are undemocratic or otherwise not good, and I disagree with. I'll freely admit that. But if you're trying to improve, if you call yourself trying to improve relations with another country, ask yourself, is it really a bright strategy or good idea to speak disparagingly of the leader that is currently in charge in such a way? Because calling someone a dictator, specifically a world leader, is not some minor thing. You know, you're talking about a country that you have bad relations with. You've had a trade war now for several years. I'm kind of inclined to agree with China, where even if I don't support Xi Jinping's policies or anything about the man, if I'm looking at this as a responsible world leader, statesman, whichever term you want to use, it doesn't make any sense in wanting to improve relations to insult him in such a very hostile manner. You know, we have different countries that have different policies that we tend to not agree with. And the U.S. has already shown it's fine with authoritarian governments. I mean, we don't even have to talk about the American-Saudi Arabia relationship. That's the perfect example of our hypocrisy right there. But yeah, I'm inclined to agree with China. And again, his whole thing is he wants to look strong because that trade war is hurting us. It is something that's not constructive toward benefiting the U.S. at all. So when he goes to, and of course he picked my state to say something this stupid in, when he goes to California and does his fundraiser and tries to appear like he's actually reasonable, it's like, oh yeah, their balloon was unintentional, however, whatever that means. But yeah, his comments I think are really dumb, and they're just going to keep on messing up the already fragile and frankly horrible interactions that we have with the region.